Good afternoon. And like I always say, why do you need glasses when you have a bottle? Oh, just wait a second here. Okay. And yeah, I know you can't see much. I don't really care. Actually, I'm surrounded by several billion of these. Can you see that on the, up there? Mm-hmm. And other yellow composite flowers and other. Okay. I know I sound a little wore out. I am. Been up early. But today, a conversation with a relative forced me to think about my studies in the human soul, the psyche, psychology. So I think I'll begin one of many in a series of psychological case studies. Okay, 122 in. This particular story is just so profound because please, I've got tens of thousands of case studies, but this one begins back in the mid to late 80s when I returned from a trip to California, Canada, etc., and was staying in what do you call them things? Them trailers, travel trailers behind my mom's house. And then one day, I'll probably be breaking through here. And then one day, no shit, I should preface this by saying that before that day, I had met this lovely, wonderful young woman, only about 18 years old, and her 19-year-old boyfriend, I think at the local grocery store that my mom lived in, community neighborhood. So, please listen. This is really important. I don't give a shit what your agenda is. This is my attempt to relay to you the kind of impact that I have on younger people, and also the fact that sometimes some shit just can't be fixed, etc. The human soul is a super complicated thing. It's not easily summed up by any psychologist, especially Dr. Phil of Texas. You're such an embarrassment to Texas, Phil. Anyway. As I was stating a moment ago, after I already met this young lady and her boyfriend in my mother's neighborhood and stuff, one day the young male decided to drop by at the exact... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to cross my legs. I know it's hilarious, ain't it? Okay, let me get... Okay. Anyway, one day he decided to drop by, and he knew that I was staying in the kind of the fifth wheel, or just travel trailer behind my mom's and stuff like that. He already knew that. He knocked on the door just seconds after I had started. And what prompted this also was a few minutes ago, I watched Talking Heads on YouTube. He knocked on the back door because he knew I wouldn't be in the front. And he knew in the back that's where my sound system was set up. Same sound system that I had taken to Canada. So he knocked on the door and said, hey. And as soon as he opened the door and stuff like that, as usual, actually I just lit up a big fat, like 1.5 gram stinky green joint and handed it to him while I began to play Talking Heads, Psycho Killer, Kiska Say, whatever. And he literally sat there and smoked the joint with me. Didn't say a word for like that full 6 or 8 minutes. And actually, that was original. The original was like about 8 minutes, I think. And then after we finished smoking the joint, and I turned the music off, I said, "Hey, well, how you doing?" And he goes, "Good, good, good, good. You know what I'm thinking about, you know." And what he already knew was that when I was up in Canada, up around the Crown Territories, just before I went into Crown Territories with my legal permit, which is super stupid. And anyway, that he had, he knew about the fact that the Canadian Army guys had given me a U.S. Camp stove, the best ever made in my expert opinion, except for like there was an old butane one. It was super compact. I'll maybe cover that some other time. And anyway, he knew that I had been given from a couple of Canadian Army guys. I've been given like this giant, like 50-pound slab of moose ass. You know, they knew I didn't have quite enough salt, and then they threw in the Fiesta brand subcontractor U.S. camp stove, which is like the best fucking ever in history. If you never owned a Fiesta camp stove, you don't know what really you can do and stuff like that. A Fiesta camp stove had like 3 deploying legs, a tripod, a main canister, etc. It had a generator in the middle, and like all that. That thing could burn anything easily, from like diesel to cognac, because it actually could even burn like coal tar to you know, some of the weakest rubbing alcohols out there. You know, like that. You know, actually the shit that's about as weak as cognac. So anyway, he told me he was, you know, he's going to try to kind of follow my example and get out of the rat race and get out in the country while he was still seeing this cute little gal and stuff like that. And he asked, and I didn't really want to give it up, but because to me it was worth more than $1,000. This thing was like, you know how government stuff is. It's like solid made. It was like solid bronze and stuff like that. Just with the occasional, it was, and it came with like an aluminum container, twist turned, you know, to protect it and stuff like that. And anyway, we started talking and stuff like that, and I could see, because I told him where he might go without alarming, as long as he stayed in place, without alarming the locals on those roads on the west side of Bryan, Texas, and stuff like that. And we kept talking and stuff like that, and I made a deal with him, but I delayed it. And as we talked, he told me the secret of his life. This is this genius that I have with people, is because I'm really not a hostile person. I'm a very loving person, despite what a lot of you chatline homos say, okay? And he told me about the fact that he had been dating his girlfriend since she was about 15, he was about 16, which is legal in Texas. And about the time that she turned 17, her drunken, well, I'm assuming drunken based on all the reports, drunken father who really wanted to tap that ass himself. That's what happens with a lot of you fathers. You actually want to have sex with your own daughters, almost kind of like Donald Trump, you know, okay? So the father and Trudy tried to break them up when they were actually, the young man I was talking to had already arranged an apartment, a vehicle, etc. By the age of 18, she was still like 17. And he began to get really belligerent. And this young man picked up about what we call a number 16 cast iron frying pan. that literally weighs about 10 pounds, and just smacked that fucker to death. He told me that, and actually that the travel trailer belonged to my mom I was staying in. But he told me that behind my mother's house and stuff like that. And telling me he really purged himself just like some Catholic to a Catholic priest or whatever. And I said, no big deal to me, dude. Yeah, I don't really care. And so I sold him my prize Fiesta camp stove. And I told him, look, there's about a quart of juice in it right now, but you're going to have to buy another gallon or so. And I told him a gallon of fuel will last you at least 30 some odd days, which later he told me before he finally got picked up by cops, because unfortunately the people that are living along that road watch every fucker come in and out. But anyway, I spoke to a young man who at an early age did the right thing out of love, and literally took a giant cast iron pan to his girlfriend's father, who, by all accounts, I even checked the police reports. No, that's why he was free in just months, is because the father proved he was a complete belligerent, abusive asshole. And that's why this kid only got just like a slap on the wrist, because really what he was doing was only in self-defense. You see, a lot of you people out there, you have these prejudices, which I do have now. I got to admit that. You know, I used to let everybody talk and listen to everybody until about 10, 15 years ago. Then I realized that some of you people, the minute you give me the signs, you're not worth talking to or listening to. Like if you're a black supremacist, oh no. If you're a feminist, oh no. If you're one of the rainbow 64 gender people, no. I'm not going to listen to you. I will never listen to a fucking word you say, because you're just a bunch of... I think that expresses what I meant to say. Isn't that true? Anyway, this man was a good-hearted young man. He fell in love with a young lady, you know, not much younger, and within his legal age. And her asshole father ended up dying because he tried to separate them, and even the courts agreed with me. It's in a matter of psychology like this, the record of the father is super admissible evidence. The father was a complete violent asshole. You know what? I really haven't seen him in a long time. But I'll tell you what, that's one human soul, psyche, that I've already analyzed, passed judgment on, and I do not hold him guilty of any crimes against a person or humanity. And the local judges agree with me. All the rest of you fuckers out there that hate me, all you chatline homos, go fuck yourself. All you people that think that you're as educated or experienced as me, go fuck yourself. You're not. I'm an old man who's been all fucking around. I used to talk to everybody. I don't care about your class. And I used to be in the highest class of people in this fucking country. That's Hillsborough, Belmont, and San Carlos, California. So fuck y'all. Shut the fuck up. Don't tell me, don't complain below in my comments, or I'll just erase you, as I normally do. Don't talk shit to me, bitches.